All right, first and foremost, we like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekapadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners that have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, we are the true Hebrew Israelites, the children of promise, all right, according, to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we come, all right, to prophesy the downfall of this wicked empire, all right, America, all right, the daughter of Babylon, which is ran by who? Esau, Edom, beginning with the elite bankers, which are the kings of the earth, you see? So we're coming to usher in a righteous kingdom, all right, of Yahushua, all right, and chant down the wicked kingdom of Esau, Edom, you see? So start at 6 and 7.
All right, this second is 6 and 7.
Yep.
Then answered and I and said, what should be the pardon of the son of the times?
Yep. What should be the pardon or the son of the time? The son is the dividing. You see, we finna go from these temporal kingdoms, where these heathen kingdoms come into power, and another heathen kingdom take them over, and then that heathen kingdom go out of power, and then another heathen kingdom take them over. See, that's finna be cut short. All right, that time finna be cut short. The time of the Gentiles is almost fulfilled. You see, we coming to the time now, all right, where the everlasting kingdom, all right, ruled by Yahushua, and the governing body of Israel, all right, is about to take effect, man. You see, so this is going to be, we in the times where the Most High is finna cut off these temporary heathen kingdoms and start, all right, this everlasting kingdom of Israel with Yahushua and rulership. Go ahead.
Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow?
Yeah, so when the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows, so Ezra's inquiring about the end of the rule of the heathens, man. See, our forefathers always disgusted at heathen rulership, all right? But now you got Jake today, all right? They're the most, enthusiastic slaves within this rulership, man, all right? Because who you can't get the mask off of a nigga. All right, who is trying to shame you for not getting the jab? It's a nigga, all right, a nigga woman, because they want this heathen rulership to continue on, man. Go ahead.
Verse 8, and he said to me, from Abraham and to Isaac, and when Jacob and Esau were born of him,
Yep.
Jacob hands held the first of the hill of Esau.
Yeah, and the whole Bible is centered around these lineages, man. That's why it's constantly reiterated over and over and over again. All right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When the Most High was introducing himself to Moses, he said, I'm the God of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man.
Right.
All right, the whole Bible is centered around the lineage of those men. And then you had Esau, who would be in opposition to their lineage, man. All right? Because the spirit that's within Esau, Edom, was always in opposition to the righteous line, the sons of God, man. Going all the way back to the garden, man. All right? Dealing with the serpent, all right, and Adam, going back to Cain and Abel. And now today, all right, you have the nation of the Edomites, all right, and the nation of Israel, man. And we're in complete opposition, man. You see? And it all has to do with world rulership, world domination, man. That's what this thing is about. Go ahead.
Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world,
Yep.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Yeah, Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, all right? Which is that next rulership, that everlasting rulership. And the Bible always goes, through those, that chronological order, all right, of us taking down Esau, Edom, and setting up that everlasting rulership, all right? Let's prove it. Let's get Daniel 7, and start at 10. We'll start at 7, Let's go into the beast. And like Apostle Paul said, man, the prophecy, all right, that's what we got to go into, the prophecy, man. Because the prophecy tells the story of the reality that we live in, man. Go ahead.
This thing is 7 and 7, so 6 and 7.
Start at,
I put this
no, start at 7. Yep.
All right, this thing is 7 and 7.
Yep.
After this, I saw in the night vision,
Yep.
and behold, a fourth beast.
A fourth beast. You see? Because if you got to understand the mark of the beast, you got to understand what the beast is. You see? What is the beast? You know, go ahead.
Dreadful and terrible.
Dreadful and terrible. And this is talking about what? The ancient Roman Empire, that pagan Roman Empire. And his military was dreadful and terrible, man. All right? And what does it remind you today, man? It's American Empire and their dreadful and terrible military, man. You see, go ahead.
And strong and silently.
Yep.
Had great iron teeth.
You ever had great iron teeth, the military, go ahead.
It devoured and break in pieces.
Yep.
And it stamped, and the residue with the feet of it.
Yeah, because you go back to that ancient Roman Empire. Hey, that ancient Roman Empire, it was breaking up. Superpowers, man. You see, that ancient Roman Empire was destroying, empire that was already established, man. You know, you go back into the Carthaginians, what they call the Punic Wars between the Romans and the Carthaginians. That's where you get the famous, battles. Going into the Second Punic Wars with Hannibal the Lecter and your guy Leo Scipio Africanus. You see, and they was battling for control of the Mediterranean. Well, the Carthaginians was a superpower, but see, the Romans overcame them, man. See, the Greeks, they was a superpower. The Romans overcame them. The Romans, even Judea, Syria. You see, the Romans was conquering these superpowers in the earth, just like America. Just like America, man. America conquered superpowers, man. Britain, France, Spain. You see, and it got to the point by the time America went, to war with Spain. That war only lasted 10 months, man. They took Spain down through there, man. So America is this new. All right, Roman Empire. This is the last leg of the Roman Empire that's in the earth, man. That was prophesied to be in power before the return of the Messiah, man. You got it, bro.
It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And had 10 horns.
Yeah, it was diverse from all the other beasts, which were all those other empires, man. And because the Romans, those Edomites, they stole. That government system from Japhet, dealing with the Senate, all right, having the president, had different political parties, the plebeians and patricians, you see, which is similar to the Democrats and Republicans of the day. You see, it's the same thing, man, just repackaged. America's like the repackaged, Roman Empire, man. You got it, bro. Yeah, keep going, keep going.
All right, then verse 8.
Yep.
I considered the horns,
Yep.
and behold, there came up among them another little horn.
Another little horn. Now this is America, because America emerges out this beast system. You see, America is the superpower that emerges out this ancient Roman Empire system, man. Because it's been revived, man. That deadly wound was healed, and America was the strength of that deadly wound that was healed, man. And see, remember, this is all going back into 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the fall. See, the prophecy just go more into detail with it. When you go to different prophecies, man. All right, go ahead.
All right. Before whom there were 3 of the first horn.
Yep.
Plucked by the roots.
Yeah, they were plucked by the roots, and those 3 horns, like I said, was Britain, France, and Spain. You see, because when you go into the slave trade, all right, you had those Spanish conquistadors, and those Portuguese. They really jumped that slave trade off, man.
Yeah, it was really Portuguese, Portugal and Spain, pretty much one and the same.
Yep. That's what they call Iberian Peninsula. It's on the same, land mass. They neighboring countries, man. You see? Go ahead.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man,
Yep.
and the mouth speaking great things.
Yep, great thing. And America, has been boasting itself against Yahweh Shema Shai. Look at the legislation that goes forth in America, man. That's a boast against Yahweh Shema Shai. Hey, here it is. It's like if you train, your son, all right, to be work oriented, you teach him how to fish and hunt and work with his hands and get up a certain time and eat, on a disciplined diet, but then somebody kidnap your son, and then show you footage of your son wilding out. He a degenerate nigga now. You see? That's what America has did to Israel, man. And they do that and they boast in that against the Heavenly Father, man. Hey, because the scriptures say that the Most High will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Now, Amalek can't physically deal with the Most High, so what do? They destroy the people of the Most High, man. And America has been the main stage of the destruction of the tribes, man. You know? They speak great words against our power, man. You got it, bro. Yeah,
All right, then verse 9.
yeah.
I beheld till the dawn were cast down.
Yeah, and this is where we're going to the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. The thrones being cast down. All his rulerships throughout the earth being cast down, man. Because the earth is carved up amongst that beast system, man. All right? When you go to Britain, when you go to China, all right, who colonized China? It was Britain. All right? You go to India, you know, who colonized those East Indians? It was Britain. All right? You go to West Africa, you know, what you got? The French.
You go to
know?
motherfucking South. Why do you think that in South Africa they have British accents?
Yep.
Like Trevor Noah.
Yeah, bring that to them too.
They got a British accent in South Africa. Where did that come from?
Yep. They speak French in different parts of Africa.
Yep.
I think the Congo.
The Congo.
Yep.
Yeah, you look at
Other parts of West Africa.
Yep.
the Negro land map, you know, which is what people call it, but basically it's a map predominantly of West Africa. You know, it shows you West Central Africa, but basically it shows you how it was divided up amongst, you know, the different Edomite counterparts. Like brother had said, you know, you got France, they got their portion. You know, the Portuguese, the British, you know, Holland, you know, but they each got, you know, Africa divided up, man. In particular, where the Southern Kingdom is, you know.
Hey, that's a beautiful point because when the Portuguese and the Spanish, when they came and conquered, when they started conquering different lands in North, Central, and South America and the islands, you know, what they did was they went and got some of them slaves that they had already colonized from the slave coast. Like that good ship Jesus, you know, it left from the slave coast, and Portuguese already had colonies, you know, within West Africa, man. You see?
Yeah, they kicked it off.
Yep. Hey, so this world system that we see is split up amongst, all right, this beast. When you go into Revelation 17, 7 heads and 10 horns, the earth is carved up amongst that beast, man. And America, their horde, rides on that beast. You see?
And hey, it's for you, Jace, to do your own research and look into history, because that's more proof that the slave trade it went into overdrive in the 1600s.
Yep.
But see, it was already starting when you go into the like the mid to late 1500s, man.
Jamestown, Virginia.
Yep.
And that's just with Judah. That's just the Southern Kingdom.
Yep.
Like even down here in Mississippi,
Yep.
which I'm gonna give it back to you.
No, you got it, bro.
North Mississippi, was that Greenville or Greenwood? We went to Greenville or Greenwood in the Delta.
We went to Greenville.
Greenville, they got those big Indian mounds, man. Hey, when Esau when another nation comes and invaded territory, it's as though the prior nation never existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like down here in Mississippi, it's hard to believe this was gas land.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's a big mound in Greenville, Mississippi. In Pocahontas, Mississippi, which is about 15 minutes north of Jackson, it's another big Indian mound, man. All right, showing you that, hey, man, this was conquered, man.
Yep.
This is conquered territory, man.
Yep. Why you got DeSoto County?
Yep.
Why you have a Spanish name, you know, on the other side of the continent, man?
Yeah. Oh, you know how many Spanish names? You know how many names of the cities and countries in America or cities in America are named after Columbus?
Yep.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Columbia University.
Yeah, Columbus, Mississippi.
Columbus, Mississippi.
Yep.
All right, Columbia in South America.
Yep.
All right, so there's hundreds of Columbus because Psalms 49 and 11.
You got Hernando. What you go right before you get to Memphis? It's
And then something, Orlando, one of them. Like that.
Yep. You know?
It does say Ronaldo.
Yep. Come on, man. Hey, because what's the song?
49,
You know,
49, 11.
yeah.
You saw 49, 11.
This song, 49, 11. Then we're gonna keep going on that Daniel. Then we're gonna jump Revelation 17. We're gonna get into the prophecy because this is what it's all about. You know? Go ahead.
Psalms 49 and 11.
Yep.
The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
And the house is your dwelling place. All right, so a country can be your house, your dwelling place. All right.
They call the lands after their own
They
names.
call the lands after their own names. Now you can go into it with transhumanism, but on the surface, man, they call all these different land masses after their own names. They're going to Africa, America. Those are all Edomites, man. Even Asia. It goes into another Roman general, you know, Asiatic, you know, which was I believe he was the brother of Leo Scipio Africanus. You know, you can do the research and look it up, but I believe he was the brother. All right, Leo Scipio Africanus, man.
But it shows you, like you said, I mean, if you want to go into it deeper, it goes to the transhumanism on the surface level. You know, you just naming, you know, continents and these different lands, you know, towns, rural areas after you. You know, but see, this shows you this is all a part of your image, man. You know?
Hey, because Ethiopia, that's a Greek name.
Theops,
Yep.
Theops, which goes to burnt faces.
Man.
That was the Grecian interpretation of the sons of Cush.
Yep. Well, Egypt, that's a Greek name.
Yep.
Yeah, Egyptos.
Yep. You see? Because like you niggas in the black country, you act like Egypt stayed pure. You know, from the beginning of time to now. No, man, you had Edomites sitting on thrones in Egypt, man.
Yep.
All right? Esau, when Esau in his time to rule, he did what Jake did to him. He supplants everybody, man. You
And
know?
that shit funny as hell, bro. Like, you come across Ishmaelites that actually believe they're Egyptian. Like, you go to a smoothie shop, you know, you got Ishmael proud as hell on the phone. He looking at Jake serving the smoothie some type of way. And then Jake, he looking at you. Well, you know, they guys from Egypt. And you look at this motherfucker, he proud as hell.
Well, you saw all the zombie movies. They had Ishmaelites. Even the movie Prince of Egypt. Basically Ishmaelites in the movie. Yeah. But you got something called amalgamation, which is a mixing of the people.
Yeah.
You got a different nation of people enter into the land of Egypt. Enter into the land of Ham. But those aren't the original inhabitants of the lands of Ham.
They was displaced.
They was displaced, man.
You don't belong there.
That's how you don't belong in Israel. You got the sons of Amalek in the land of Israel. So you perception is your reality. If you don't know what happened prior, you would think those are just the inhabitants of the land.
They've been there.
They've been there.
Yep.
Like America.
Yep.
Dad,
Yep.
you know, Central South America has the 12 tribes. Now when you say I'm an American, you think of a so-called black or white person.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, niggas with Levi's on,
Yeah.
plaid shirt.
Yep.
You finna get it on there. Go back to that thing.
All right, this Daniel 7:9.
You get there real quick.
I beheld until the thrones were cast down,
Yep.
and the ancients of days did sit,
That's the most I go ahead.
whose garment was white as snow,
Yep.
and hair of his head was like a pure wool.
The hair on his head was like a pure wool. All right. What did that remind you of? The description of his son, Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
You see? Go ahead.
His throne was like a fiery flame,
Yep, that chariot. Go ahead.
and his wheels was as a burning fire.
Yep, that chariot. Go ahead.
Verse 10, a fiery steam issued and came forth, and behind him thousand ministered unto him.
Yeah, that's all those chariots around. All right, the throne of Yahweh Shai. Those chariots. And see, those chariots are there waiting on orders, man. Waiting on commands on what to do. All right, those chariots are playing on the hearts of men. You know, chariots are manipulating the weather, because Esau, you know, he got his little concern and his weather manipulation, but ultimately the chariots oversee that, man.
Yep.
You see?
Keeping us on point.
Yep.
You know, let's say issue. Can you read that part again? Before him.
Alright. It's a fiery steam issued and came from him. No, from before him.
Right, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. You know, because the Heavenly Father, He's a consuming fire. You know, but like the brother said, you know, you also have that innumerable company of angels that basically wait for the orders of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And I was reading, you know, in the Song of Moses earlier, you know, Deuteronomy 32, because you got basically 2 chapters called the Song of Moses. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and Exodus chapter 15. I was reading Deuteronomy 32, it says how all the works of the Lord are done in judgment. And you go to Psalms 103, you know, it speaks about how the angels, they excel in strength, and they do His commandments. hearkening unto the voice of his word. So that, like brother said, they're basically just waiting for orders. You know?
It's heavy.
Oh, you got it, brother. You got it.
You know? 'Cause he's the king of the earth.
Yep.
And this prophecy, this heavy to get into because this is the time period that we in, man. You know, we in a time on the fourth beast and at the end of the fourth beast. Go ahead.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, and the judgment was set, and the book was open.
Hey, the judgment was set and the books were open. And right now the books are open. Hey, what did it say in the second Ezra, how the books were open before the firmaments, you know, through the satellite. So the judgment is open. Now Esau is on trial. The Most High is the ultimate judge from on high. And once it gets to the point where, you know, he hit that gavel, Yahweh Shah coming back to execute the judgment that's written, man.
Yeah. Court is in session.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can try to silence the witness,
Yeah.
you know, your brother strikes,
Yep.
but their testimony still gonna stand strong, man.
Two witnesses, the southern and northern kingdom.
Yep.
Man.
Go ahead.
At verse 11, I beheld then because of a voice of a great word which the horn spake.
Yep.
I beheld even to the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burnt flame.
Yeah, there's nuclear destruction. You see, the scripture going to the end of this beast, this system that we in, man. So you see, so this man and his mark, his MOB is not gonna hold up. Why would you take, all right, this man's mark, knowing that he got this destruction written, man? Why would you try to prolong your life in this society knowing that this destruction is written, man? You see, all the prophets reiterate the same thing. When the Apostle Peter said, you know, he seen the elements burn with fervent heat, he was talking about this, man. This was the main theme. America is the main stage of the destruction from on high, man. This will be center stage of destruction, man. You see? Go ahead.
As concerning the rest of the beasts,
Yep.
they had their dominion taken away.
Yeah, because what did the scripture say about Yahweh Shah? He had on many crowns. Yeah, because the dominion, well, like you said, the beast system has carved up the earth. You know, all these different Edomite empires, but see, all that dominion gonna be taken away at the coming of Yahweh Shah. You know, go ahead.
Yet their lives were prolonged for a season in time.
Yep, hey, they go into captivity. You see, the remnant of you Edomites, because there's a remnant for you Edomites, but it's for slavery, man. All right, starting with your heads. All right, Amalek, which is gonna be ducked off somewhere. All right, they gonna get snatched out the caves, the space station. Leviathan gonna, you know, deal with them under those underground retreats, those underwater retreats. You see those $1 billion submarines, you know, they got. All right, they can stay underwater for months. You know, they gonna get searched out, man. They go into captivity, man, along with their other counterparts, man. You see the remnant of those Edomites. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Yep.
I saw in the night vision,
Yep.
and behold, one like the Son of Man
Yep.
came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days.
Yep. So remember now, it dealt with the end of this beast system. All right, beginning with that little horn, which is America, which is gonna be completely destroyed. That's why it's always singled out. You know, we're dealing with the destruction. You see?
Yeah.
So it deals with the end of Esau. Now it's finna go into the beginning of Jacob. But Yahweh Shah has already received this in the heaven. He's just finna extend his kingdom to the earth. Go ahead.
Come. And they brought him before him.
Yep.
Verse 14.
And
Right.
that's, you got it. No, you got it.
You know, that goes to when you read in Revelation, the 5th chapter.
Yep.
You know, when our Lord Yahweh Shah, basically, you read in Acts, the 1st chapter. You know, when our Lord he ascended up into that chariot. You know, you have what's called the ascension when he went back to his heavenly Father, and basically, you know, there was a ceremony that took place where he was being honored by all the heavenly hosts on the right hand and even on the left hand. You know, but they brought him there before him. You know, the angels present him to the Father. You know, so that's when he completed it, man. You know, the very fact that Yahweh Shah conquered death for us, there's nothing you Edomites can do. You know, you got it, bro.
Hey, like he was summoned by his father. You know, like a king summoned you. And that shows you their rank. And that shows there's two different entities,
Two different
man.
entities.
Yeah.
You know, how is this possible if that's the same entity, man? He gonna bring himself to him?
Yeah.
You know?
The Lord said it to my Lord, sit
Yeah.
upon my right hand till
Yeah.
I make thy enemies thy footstool. How does that work?
Yeah. You got it, bro.
All right, verse 14. And there was given him dominion
Yep.
and glory in a kingdom that all people, nations, and language should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
And it should not be destroyed. So remember what Ezra say, what shall be the part or sunder of times? The begin, because this is going to be the end of these heathens temporal kingdoms and the beginning, all right, of Israel's everlasting kingdom. That's the division, because it will never be another division of times again, because our kingdom is everlasting. You see, so the divide between these temporal heathen kingdoms and the beginning of an everlasting kingdom will be during the rulership of Esau, Edom, and America will be a superpower, man. All right?
That's a perfect balance too, because the fact that everybody had their own time,
Yep.
everybody had their own age to rule, and they were temporal rulerships, but you still had your time. You know, so the Lord, He's saving the best for last, man. I'm gonna just give a real quick one. This is Daniel 2:44.
Yep.
And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
Going back, all right, to the days of these kings, it's talking about the same beast system. You know, it just talks about them as the 10 toes. You know, it's going to NATO, EU. All right, America is part of it, man. So it's the same rulership, all right, right before Yahweh Shai enters into the scene, man.
'Cause the defeat is the end.
Yep.
You know,
Jacob defeated Esau, man. Go ahead.
which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Which means it's not for other nations. All right, Israel will dwell in safety alone. All right, in rulership alone. You know, go ahead.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms.
Yeah, and it's being consumed now, beginning, all right, with the spirit, all right, of Yahweh Shai through the prophets. I will consume them with the words of thy mouth. You see, that's happening now. You see? Go ahead.
And it shall stand forever.
Yep, and it shall stand forever. This everlasting kingdom, man. All right, and we're entering to the beginning of our kingdom, man. And that's why it's time now to be fully tapped into this, man. All right, we, all right, Lord willing, if we endure, man, we the next rulers of the earth. You see? What's more exciting than that? You know? What should be consuming your mind in these times, man, besides this, man? Because we got our daily bread, you know? The ambitions of this world is through because we know the destruction. You reading this one, destruction of this beast. You reading this chapter, destruction of the beast. This chapter, destruction of the beast, destruction of the beast. If you take the mark, you're going to be tormented in front of the Lamb. All right? All you hear is bad news concerning this empire. So why the hell, you know, would you be engulfed in it? You see, here it is, you know, you look at the stock market and you see a business that's been trending downward for 2 years, and you go apply for a job there, man. You know, all you hear is about talks of it going out of business, and they might go bankrupt, or they plan on selling it, or you even get an insider who knows the top guy said they are gonna sell it, but you still applying for a job, man. What you doing?
Yeah, that's a bad investment.
Yeah, you know. You got it, bro.
All right, come on. Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials,
Yep.
and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
And that great horse that sit upon many waters is America, man. All right? America, this American empire has had the most influence of every other nation, every other empire that came before it. That's why it's known as Babylon the Great. All right? Because the influence of America has reached globally, man. You see? Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Yeah, because you can even look at, the governments of all these heathen nations. They mimic the governments of America. All right, the living conditions, the lifestyle, that party culture, man. You can hit some spots in Hong Kong and you'll think you're in Vegas, man. You see?
Yep.
You can go to Tokyo, you'll think you're in LA somewhere, man. All right, what's that, Seoul, South Korea? You'll think you're in New York somewhere, man. You see, America has fully, influence, because when you drunk, because when you get DUI, what you call? Driving
Under
under
the
the
influence.
influence. You
Yep.
see?
It's heavy.
So these other nations are heavily influenced. I'm sorry, brother, get that word influence. Just Google that word, you know, for edification's sake. Well, see, America has been the biggest influence, you know, of the earth, man, and that's why they send they musicians and they artists on world tours. That's why they play those movies that produce in America globally. All right, you don't watch a lot of movies produced in France. You know, yeah, that's not highly, you know, pushed in America. No, America's the one that's influencing, man.
That's the great whore.
Yep. Go ahead.
You got the word influence that's on the free dictionary.
Yep.
Influence. Now, a power affecting a person. A power affecting a person,
Yep.
thing, or course of events.
A power is affecting a person, a thing, the course of events. Like you were saying in whatever Japan, you know how they took on those Western ways and the population started decreasing.
Yeah, I read.
You got it.
I read an article. Saudi Arabia has one of the highest divorce rates. So I went into why it has the highest divorce rates. It said because of Western influence.
Yep.
Western media.
Yep.
Western influence.
Yep. Go ahead.
Especially one that operates without any direct or apparent effort. I gotta give you an example. The pervasive influence that TV has on modern life.
And that's what you see.
That's the
TV,
spirit.
because TV is the biggest form of conditioning.
Yeah.
Hey, because I think it was one that Lovecraft Country on HBO, and you had Jake that was over there during World War II, and he had started dealing, you know, with this little Moabite chick, and the little Moabite chick would have to sneak and watch American films. This was like in the 50s. Because for a while, Moab didn't allow this shit. Like those American films, like, you know, you couldn't just, you know. But once he can get his media within your nation, you're done. You know?
And you know what the thing is? The thing is, because, you know, everybody wants to be the next superpower and to be the next lapdog of the elite. So the thing is, not to completely get rid of the Edomite way, but to take it and tweak it.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going to do it better.
Yep.
You know?
Just like Israelites. All right, they talk about Esau and we're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah.
But you're just gonna be an American Israelite.
Yep.
With fringes.
Yep.
You know?
All right, I'm gonna jump down. It says, power to sway or affect based on prestige.
Woo! Based on prestige. Matter of fact, keep reading the 17.
All right.
Bring it out.
All right, Revelation 17:2.
Yep.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Yep.
So he carried me away in the spirit to the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Yeah, now that beast, all right, having 7 heads and 10 horns, all right, is going into what, man? All right, this beast system, all these Edomite empires, all right, those heads represents the head of these Edomite empires that have existed, you know, ever since the Greeks, the Romans, the British, the French, the Spanish, Germania Major and Germania Minor. Those are those 7 mountains, you know, 7 heads represents, you know, the pinnacles of Esau's rulership throughout his existence, man, beginning with the Greeks, all right, and now we in the last of that because that 7 head that was wounded, the Britain, you know, and then that deadly wound was healed, was really coming into the fruition through America, man. All right.
That's why it says in Maccabees, when the Greeks took over, wickedness went across the planet Earth. That was the beginning of their whoredom.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, no, 10 horns just go into those vassal states, you know, which today those vassal states would be these EU nations, man. You know?
The exact same system.
Yep.
Coming back. All right, this is the root word or the etymology. The etymology of influence. And it says late 14th century, an astrological term, streaming ethereal power.
Ethereal goes back to heavenly, or from the heavens. Influence. Because it's like, I think that's where we get inspiration from. You know, inspiration from the spirit world.
Oh, since you said that, how about in is it Russia? it's Muslim women that starting a class on how to do pole dancing now.
Where they come from?
Yeah.
See, that's why in Egypt they arrested you bitches for trying to persuade, and you could rightfully call them bitches, because you had Egyptian influencers who were in Egypt, and they were basically influencing women that you could do like basically a fans only account. It was like, look, you could get paid by strangers. So those two main influencers got arrested for that, man, and that's beautiful.
And if I'm not mistaken, but I can look that up too. Inspiration, it means breath from within. So basically, you being possessed.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. The world is under a spell. Yep.
Or it says streaming ethereal power from the stars within certain positions.
And then the satellites, you know, within those stars, man, satellites, because that's where the influence coming from. The media,
The media, yeah.
you know, the YouTube, you know, the social media, all right, and all this made possible through this man's satellite system, man. The Wi-Fi, you know.
Now it says acting upon the character or destiny of men.
Acting upon a character or destiny of men. Man, you controlled by men. They got a blueprint for your life, man. Amalek, he influences a certain path for you by way of his influence, man.
Get that in John 10.
The stars are like you said, heavenly bodies.
But they call American Idol stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're the star, the idols.
With Hollywood stars,
Hollywood stars.
Walk of Fame.
Yep.
Now get there real quick. We're gonna go back in Revelation, John 10 and 27.
It's John 10 and 27.
Yep.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them,
Yep.
and they follow me.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And that's the elect. Because once we start hearing the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai, we begin to follow, all right, Yahweh Shai. All right, because you hear his voice through the prophets, man. Go ahead.
All right, verse 28.
Yep.
And I give unto them eternal life,
Yep.
and they should never perish.
Yep.
Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Neither shall any man pluck them out of his hand. Now, you got the blue letter. Get that word hand in the blue letter. You know, because that definition said, what's that definition? The last definition?
And I gotta read a little bit more on it too, bro.
Okay, come.
Just to get
Yep.
the point.
Yep.
Now, the last definition it said streaming ethereal power from the stars when in certain positions.
Yep. Go keep reading.
All right.
The destiny of men.
Now it says acting upon character or destiny of men.
Yeah, acting upon character, all right, which really your spirit, you know, because you portray, you know, what's on your spirit, you know, what type of spirit. Like you have a humble spirit, you're gonna be a humble brother. You know, you have an outgoing spirit, you're gonna be kind of outgoing. You know, you have a lively spirit, you know, you're gonna be active. You see, so that character goes into your spirit. Go ahead.
And the actual etymology itself, it means, all right, it goes back to influentia, a flowing in. Woo! You know, it says a flow of water.
Man,
You
Channel,
know?
like a
Yep.
TV channel.
Yep.
You're channeling in that
and it's on both sides.
Yep.
The left hand can influence you to your destruction,
Yep.
but the right hand gonna influence you to salvation. Now, the scriptures say, all right, Yahweh Shai is telling you, look, the elect are in his hand, and no man can pluck the elect out of the hand of Yahweh Shai. Now, you get that word hand in the Greek, and you go to the last definition.
Strong's G5495.
Kyra. Kyra, that's the word hand in the Greek. Remember, this is speaking of the hand of Yahweh Shai. Now, read that last definition.
The definition D, and to determine and controlling the destiny of man.
And determining and controlling the destinies of men. Hey, so it's like the Most High. The right hand is Yahweh Shai, the left hand is Esau. And if you for salvation, all right, he's holding you in his right hand. But if you for destruction, he let Esau grab you in that left. Because they're both dealing with the destinies of men.
And that's proof that the Edomites are the gods of this world.
Come on, man.
You know, because they're directing people in the or they're channeling them in the direction they want them to go into, man. Which is to the new world order. You know,
Yep.
It going left, man.
Bowing down to Baphomet.
That's the course of this world, man. Because like brother's going into, ain't no in between. It's either you on this side or you in the world, man.
Yep.
You know, you got to make a choice. You got it, bro.
All right, Revelations chapter 17, verse 4. Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
You remember that definition you said?
Prestige.
Prestige. You see? Because America was looked at this noble, royal, moral, excellent. The world had a problem. They would look to America. What America gonna do about it? You see? Go ahead.
Yep. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Yeah, and that cup, all right, with the ways of life, the influence, really. The golden cup was their influence. Because within that cup, that led to abominations. Because I looked in India, was you over there who looking on TV where they had the transsexual women in India, the transsexual men? Yeah, they were dressed like the ancient Indian women.
Yeah.
But they was men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They was men, but they had on the ancient women garbs of ancient India.
Yeah.
But they was men.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I
I said that's just that cup of influence, man.
But it's heavy because it said that in verse jumping back up to verse 2, it said, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Well, she fed them through that cup.
Yeah.
You have to go to the cup in your hand, and the cup was full of, it says, abominations and filthiness.
Yeah.
All right, so it links.
Yeah.
You got to go to the cup in your hand, but in another breath, the other kings or the other nations were made drunken by your fornications.
Yep.
All right, but then it gets into detail. Those fornications goes into abominations and filthiness. So homosexuality, transgenderism, women's liberation, because really, women's liberation is basically making women whores.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's just whoredom. That's all you're doing.
Sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking.
That's global, man.
Yep.
Pedophilia, worldwide pedophile rings.
Yep.
You know, Bible shots.
You got it,
A
bro.
little bit more, man. Now I'm gonna jump down. Now it says, as the elder said what he just said, to have an influence on something change.
Woo! To have an influence on something change, man. Hey, because the it's a lifestyle, that comes with wandering after the beast, man. Because what we're watching, like you see people lined up to get the jab and put the mask on, they're wandering after the beast, man. You see, they want this beast to continue, so they're trying to do their part to keep this place continuing, man. You had something.
Oh, and I was just gonna say, man, it gotta be the spirit, man, because on the way here, man, I seen about 20 cars. Y'all think they were probably men and women, but man, you look closer, there's all men that you would think was women, all gathered together down here to the right, man.
It's a madhouse. That's why Memphis is on the way.
See, you have to understand too. That's why we got that book, Understanding the Ways of the East. Roughly, that's not the title, but it gives you historical context. And there are certain words that they use in the East that they don't use now, certain terminologies. Like the reason when you hear the word whore so many times is a metaphor for America, because in the ancient times, they would say a whoring is to pollute the ways of your ancestors. Like for example, the movie Last Samurai, one of the samurai said, we are not going to go a whoring after the West. Because at that time, Japan was starting to become industrialized, being influenced by the West. They were starting to get a Western military. They were going to do away with the ancient ancestors' ways of martial arts and adopt the American military way of fighting. The cannons and those machine guns.
It's a political and a behavioral change.
Yep. To go a whoring is a political and a behavior change, man. So there's a literal whoring as a behavior of a woman, and there's a going a whoring as in, because your country is personified as a woman. The Most High personifies cities and countries as women.
Like it nurtures you.
It nurtures you. So if your country goes a whoring after that of another country, that means that country has changed its behavior and its thinking.
Yep. And that's the destruction of your nation. And it's spiritual because even today, certain people, they'll say how a nation is in bed with another nation. Like, what does that go back to? You say a country is in bed with another country.
This is Jeremiah 3:1. They say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another's man, shall he return unto her again? Shall not their land be greatly polluted?
Yep.
But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet returned again to me, said the Lord Yahweh.
Because that's talking about Israel. Israel is when we were in power and we had our sovereignness. We went whoring after the other countries. The Canaanites. We were practicing witchcraft. We were sacrificing our children to Molech.
Yep.
All right, that's called going a whoring. All right, but in this historical context, as far as America, it is a whore-like influence. Everybody's being westernized.
Yeah.
When you follow westernization, that means your country is being a whore. They're going a whoring after the ways of America.
Yep.
You know?
Michael Adams said that land polluted. The land is your mind.
Yep.
You know, and now your mind is polluted, all right, with those different lovers, man.
Yep.
You know, because they was going into how, you know, the women dealing with all those different men, she takes on the DNA of all those men.
Yep.
And now she picks up characteristics from those men.
That's why a lot of women you meet, especially women in their 20s,
Yeah.
they got the slang and mannerisms of men.
Yep.
It's hey, bro.
Yeah.
But she got the spirits of them niggas that she mess with, man. Because they call it soul ties.
Yep.
You having a casual sex, you having different sex people, but they put their spirit on you, man.
And that's true. She got a day. After a while, she start talking like you, acting like you.
Yep.
So that's true right there.
Even their children.
Mm-hmm. And that's why these other countries got soul ties with America.
Yeah.
They got slang, they took up American slang.
A nigga in the middle of the desert on the camel.
With
a
Jordan.
Adidas suit, yeah.
What Adidas suit, man?
Sagging.
That's saggy, yeah, man.
On the camel.
With an iPhone, we got soul ties with America, man.
With gold.
Yep.
And that's how, you know, these nations, they know what to sell, Jake.
Yep.
You know, because they're wine of Babylon. So when you look in these different convenience stores and you in the mall, you know, wherever you at, you know, when these heathens set up shop, they know how to advertise to you because of the whore, man.
And that's that dog licking your sores. That's a dog licking your sores, man. Where's your ruling class mentality? That's why I said it's an old line, you crouch it down. You okay with these niggas, these saying niggas selling you things, man? You okay with a heathen? And Jake, no, Esau ain't shit. But you okay with this man ruling over you? But you just want stimulus money? You just want your income taxes? But you got it, bro.
And then just jump to verse 6. It says, the Lord Yahweh Shai said also unto me, in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backslide Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and on every green tree, and there have played the harlot.
And the high mountain is a representation of the different nations. And those philosophies of those different nations. That's why I said, Jeremiah, I think it's 51 or 50, she have not known her resting place.
Yeah.
That's why she, even now, Israelites attach themselves to what? Kemet. All right? They'll attach themselves to Islam. You must have forgot, they beat Islam in us too. You must have forgot, Ham sold us into slavery too. Don't get me wrong, Israel did that under the text of Moors, but ultimately, you're worshiping the gods of the nations that sold you into slavery.
Yeah, because the Arab slave trade, you had Ishmael,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. So really, hey, that's why I said you went to every mountain, you follow every philosophy. Even now, you follow the philosophies of religions that have a good energy to them. Like, it's cool to go dreadlocks, crocodile sheep, go smudge your apartment building, drink herbal teas, call everybody king, all right? But you're no real Hamite. You're gonna get down and dirty like a Hamite, all right? It's easy to go to prison and find Allah. You got nothing else to do.
Their God is a trend.
It's
You know,
a trend.
It's like, you know, it says in Jeremiah, according to the number of your streets are your gods, O Judah.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's Jake, man.
That's Jake.
You just come up with a God on the spot.
Yep.
In verse 7 it says, and after she had done all these things, turned thou unto me, but she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw.
Yeah, because the northern kingdom, they was heavy into idolatry first.
Yep.
And you know, the southern kingdom followed after, man. But that's been a pattern really all throughout time.
And you know it's a spiritual example of that? The northern kingdom pleasing to idols, right?
Yeah.
So over there in the west coast, like Issachar, they're heavy on those face tats,
Yeah,
right? MS-13, all that stuff, right? But they're heavy on those face tats because they're cleaving to idols, right?
Right.
But now you had the Hughley show.
Yeah,
You had the boy that played D.L. Hughley's son.
Yeah.
he was influenced by Issachar, and he got out on face
So,
that.
so do now.
And
He's on the West.
he's on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But to our knowledge, he's Judah, right? So they're gonna show you Judah falling out the Issachar when it came to those
Man,
idols.
he looks just like one of them, man.
Yep. They're gonna show you that, and it's like a microcosm of what happened in the ancient
He
world.
heavy in that gang shit too.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Because
You
the
know?
gang shit ain't nothing but idol worship.
Yeah, that's idolatry. That's
Yep.
the max. You got your own literature.
Yep.
Yep.
Laws.
Yep.
And it said, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it, like you said, they physically saw the Syrians come take away the northern kingdom.
Yep.
You know, and it says, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Yeah, and I got point real quick. This is where you get the topic of the Gentiles. It's another scripture. It's in Jeremiah. It says how the Lord cast off our brethren, even all the seed of Ephraim. So at one point in time, we actually was looking at the northern kingdom like another nation, man. You know, and not only, you know, the northern kingdom that got separated from us, but also the Israelites that were of the southern kingdom that were living like heathens. They was actually classified as another nation, man. You know, the Lord, because, you know, Jay knew these scriptures going back 2,000 years ago. You know, so they're like, man, you separated from us. You know, Lord, hey, you don't belong to this.
Hey, that's why it has called the Pharisees. By the time the Greeks took over, I think the Pharisees came together because their original intention was, no, we're adamant about the laws. And we're not going to be like the Israelites that got influenced by those other
The
nations.
descendants of the Maccabean
Yep.
brethren.
So, hey, there you go.
They were seeking to reinforce it. Now stop with
No, you got it.
Nah, that meant important.
Yep. That's why you had those schools of teaching the law.
Yep.
Yeah, those established, you know, from the descendants of the Maccabees. You see, and that's why they was coming at your house, like who taught him? Because the young Hebrew boys had to go to a certain school, you know, be brought up in the law. But like you said, they were trying to preserve their way because they seen how far left Jacob hit. You know, trying to put the skin back on your penis, like, oh nah, you nigga bugged out.
Hey, they were conservatives.
Yeah.
You know, and the Pharisees were far-right conservatives, man, at that time.
You'll call them
Orthodox Jews.
Yeah.
But the Israelite foreigners, they were like liberals.
Yep.
You know?
Because all of them wasn't like all the Pharisees wasn't wicked.
Yep.
You know, we had sincere Pharisees, man.
Nicodemus, Gamaliel.
Gamaliel, yep. Apostle Paul.
Yeah, Apostle Paul.
You preserving the laws of your people. But you know, out of that came wicked Pharisees. But the intention was righteous. You know? You just gonna get some?
No, you got that. You got
Okay.
something else.
And this Judges 2 and 10. And also all the generation were gathered to the fathers. And there rose another generation after them.
And see, just that generation now. Let's talk about a generation that was righteous during the time of Joshua. But then you had a wicked generation that came up. All right, that generation of Joshua that conquered, you know, those heathen kings, you know, with the aid of Yahushua and the angels, you know, that generation was considered righteous. But see, the generation after, all right, that's when you get generation of niggas that's gonna go into it. It's gonna expound. You know what you're saying?
Which knew not the Most High, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel.
Yep. So you had a generation that knew not the Most High. Does that sound familiar today?
Yeah.
It's a generation that knows not the works of the power by Shema Shai.
That's them.
You know, the horn had to blow, man. It's the generation, man. You know, our people are in that mindset. They have no king to Caesar. They don't consider, all right, what the Most High is doing in the earth through His Son Yahushua, man.
And we're relatively young men, right?
Yep.
But even we've seen this last generation.
Yep.
Like people that was born like 95, 2000, it's like 21 years old now,
Yep.
25. Even we're looking at them like, who are these?
Yeah.
Because when we was 15 in high school, we didn't look at the money.
Yeah.
We was in nigga culture. Well, these niggas just look like demons.
Yeah, these new niggas, something else, man.
Them niggas dark. Like we were watching them 200 rappers that died. Them niggas look dark as hell, man. A lot of them niggas look dark as hell, man. You like, God damn. You know? Like, this that generation, man.
They disrespect everybody. They don't give a damn how they act. And Jay walked down the road. The nigga have a belt on, pants still sagging. All down to this goddamn nigga. These niggas, man, these are new niggas.
Yeah.
These some goddamn
Shooting at their father.
Yeah.
Little girls, or young women getting in fights with their mother.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the Lord about to do to this generation? And the spiritual and great part about it, both parties are here. You got the righteous, the generation of the righteous, and the generation of the wicked here. So really, like, this about to be an all-out showdown, man. You know?
And since we're on this particular scripture, I want to bring out this definition, degenerate. All right, I'm going to bring up the last etymology definition of that word, degenerate, in the freedictionary.com. It says degenerate from Latin degeneratus, and it says to decline from an ancestral standard. That's it. Because it says that last generation that knew not the Most High, right? So to decline from an ancestral standard. What was the ancestral standard? The laws, statutes, and commandments are given to us by way of Yahweh Shema Shai using Moses. All right? The laws are the ancestral standard in which we live by.
I got a real quick. Jeremiah 2:21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Hey, going to what we were reading earlier, the influence of who? Because the original nigga is an Edomite.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
Even when you read in the accounts of the Maccabees, when Antiochus' money got low, what did he do, man? He tried to go rob the Persians, man. You know? That nigga money was low. He was trying to conquer and he failed.
Yeah, that's something a nigga do.
Yeah, so it's like shit. Then he heard about the riches that they had in Persia. He wouldn't try to hit a lick, man.
And he lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to get his lick back. Him coming at us.
Yeah, that's a nigga. You know? They say you whoop a nigga at the club, all right, and the nigga might shoot your grandma's house up. That's what Esau was doing, man. Esau was the original nigga. So how has he become a degenerate? Because this nigga's in control, man. You know?
When our Lord say, speaking to the wicked about people, you have your father, the devil. They say that influence.
Yep. So your father has a father has the most influence on the son.
Because the Israelite, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what you see today before you is not what you saw 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago walking the earth. We've been in America, and we've been institutionalized in America. That's why in Micah 2:10 says what? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. You know, we got Jake bisexual. Basically, the Israelites they're Romans. This is the book of Romans over again. The book of Acts over again.
We're literally seeing the worst of our people, man. You know, Israelites were created in the worst captivity on earth. You know?
So you've been here this is what happens when you're in captivity of your oppressors for 400 years. Totally detached to your mother, the homeland.
I'm 39 years old. And I ain't never seen nothing like this when I grown up. How it is today, I never. Man, you wouldn't have the thought cussing at your mom or disrespect an old person. That would never cross your mind. But nowadays, shit.
It's doing down to the 100 pounds. Hey, because even in Jackson, man, Jackson's been rough for a long time. But like them Jakes, that was out there in the streets in the 90s, they still had some type of respect for older people. Grandma, I used to see, I had a cousin, he was real wild, but he'll terrorize niggas out in the street. But then when he entered the door into our grandma's house, he would humble down. My grandma and granddad, he would humble down. He speak to them in a certain way.
You saw that on Minister Society.
Yep.
He was in his granddaddy's house. He was yes sir, no sir.
Yep.
He was wild in the streets, but he had that respect in the house.
Yep. Now, the grandma is listening to Cardi B with the grandchildren, man.
It's working.
The granddaddy, the father, he in the same club that the son in, man.
Looking for 20-year-old women.
Hey, when I used to DJ, I seen that, man. Mothers and daughters in the same club. I see it all the time. You got it, bro.
All right, this verse 11. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High and served Balaam.
Baby.
Another word for Baal.
And that's the energy that's in the earth. We got different, gods you know, associated with Baal Peor, you know, which is like the guys of the openness, you know, the guys of sexual, you know, magic, you know, because you go into the openness, you got the anus, the vagina, the mouth. That's why you see the women like the Carter B song. Well, they talking about all their openness, man. You know, that's that Baal Peor energy, man. And Jake, all right, there's always been the hindrance, you know, for the Israelite men, you know, is that sexual, you know, lust, man.
And that's the gateway
Yep.
to you getting affected by these demons, man.
Yep.
You know, because you open up to it.
Yeah.
That's why, amen, unless the Spirit of the Lord locks you in, you susceptible to all this shit. That's why the Lord, basically, he gonna destroy a satanic grid when he come back, man.
Yep.
It is, because all this shit is satanic, like the elder was speaking on, going to that word influence, because it means of flowing in or the channel, the energy is being channeled from the spiritual demon Satan, man.
And that's not something that they did overnight. You had
yeah.
one of those inventors. I want to say it was Thomas Edison. He was always trying to make he was always attempting to make a portal to the spirit world.
Yeah, it was Edison.
Those little inventions, Elder Yashwama did a video on it years ago. He was always seeking to make portals and channels to channel demons from the spirit world.
Yeah, so that the light bulb, not an accident.
Yep. So his whole thing was they had the little ones, but once you made it and perfected it, you made a gigantic version of it on American soil. So you got certain spots in America that's straight up demonic portals for the spirit world,
Yeah,
man.
you have what's called ley lines. So
Yep.
you got energy fields on the earth that's highly sensitive to the spiritual realm. It's a direct opening. That's why when you look at the layout of Washington, D.C., like the elder said, really all over America.
Yep.
Really all over America.
Like
even
Birmingham,
Yep.
5 points.
5 points. You
Yep.
know the way they where they have certain obelisks positioned. You know.
Then
DC.
huh?
It's a DC layout.
Then the nigga culture that's an influence.
Yep.
That's a spell on our people. Like I said, if you go through West Jackson, go through South Jackson, and you looking in the car next to you, or you see Jay walking down the street, you're looking at Israelites under a damn spell.
In the church. Oh my goodness.
How can I forget that?
But I mean, it's in the hood.
Yeah.
Cause Jake, for some reason, Jake thinks just because they got a church in their neighborhood, man, that they all right. You lock them to the grid.
Yep.
You know?
And that's deep Christianity. That's that deep sunken place. It's that deep witchcraft, man. You can't pull an Israelite woman out of church, man.
Because you're oblivious to everything in the Christian church, man.
Yeah.
You know, for someone that doesn't go to church, they might be more in tune that the government ain't right.
Yep.
They might be more in tune, you know, to nigga woman off. You see, but you in church, you still think good black women are strong. You still following that narrative. You still following, you know, being complete subjection to the government.
The love drug.
Yeah, you so far behind the Christianity, man. You know, Christianity is going backwards. Everything else is moving forward, but Christianity is going backwards, man.
Yeah, Christianity, that dude at the bus driver, when you walk in the bus, he stick out that Jerry curl that one go to.
Yeah.
That's Christianity, man. It's
Won't let it go,
2021.
goddamn.
He won't let it go.
Bro, I posted a picture. This Jake bus driver in London. He's the happiest bus driver, something like that. Cause Jake always smiling and you know what I'm saying, happy to see Esau and shit. But that's the spirit of this captivity, man.
That's a homeborn servant vibration. Christianity, black culture, nothing in nigga culture tells you to wake up from captivity.
Nope.
It just tells you to constantly prolong captivity. Because if you're always talking about money, you're prolonging captivity.
That's how you know, bro, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, through his grace and mercy, we doing the right thing. Because why is vocab attacking us, man?
Yep.
Here it is. You know, he's not speaking about, you know, how people are bugged out, strung out.
He could be attacking drill music.
He ain't getting on that.
Yep.
You know, the wickedness of our women. Now he's speaking against this. When we actually doing right to the best of our ability, actually rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, so what's the deal? He don't want this to be true, man.
Like that nigga Vlad, man. I hate him for that too.
Yeah.
As he interviews so many, and we get the scriptures after this a lot. He interviews so many street niggas. Y'all familiar with Vlad? He's a DJ, but he became an interviewer on
Vlad TV.
Vlad TV. All he does is interview rappers and street niggas. Hell, a fraction of the people he interviewed are dead. Because they'll get on this platform and that's, a month or two later they're dead. But he never had a problem with interviewing gangsters. He goes all into the history of the Crips over there in Compton, and he goes all into depths of it and connecting the dots with other rappers. But the moment Nick Cannon said we the chosen people, man, Vlad went crazy.
He lost his goddamn mind.
So you cool with us being niggas? We could be niggas all day. You cool with it?
He got the one up over us.
You got the one up over us. But when we say we the chosen people and we leave that whole nigga narrative, that nigga paradigm, that's when it's like, what the hell?
Where you go?
Where you go? They just set up vocab alone to put us back on the plantation.
Yep, that's right, bro. That's right.
He's a slave catcher. You know?
And then Patty roller. And then that's where the police go back to the patrol, slave patrol.
Yep.
Call them Patty rollers.
That's why like Jackson is section off. You leave out of Hines County, it's like, where you going?
They own you.
They finna racially profile the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Hines County tail, you got an old car. Get your ass back in Hines County.
Search that bitch like a long trip.
Yeah.
All right, you got it, bro.
All right, this is Judges 2 and 12. And they forsook the Most High power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the people that were round about them, and they bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Most High to anger.
Yep. Yeah. And now we're entering into the book of Judges. What's the book of Judges? The Most High birthed us and married us when we left Exodus, when we left Egypt. Exodus means out of the way of Egypt.
To exit.
To exit. So we're exiting Egypt. When we exited Egypt, he married us. Because we're like unto a comely and delicate woman, he married us with the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
All right, but then a few generations down the line, those generations that didn't see the miracles, and they didn't see how the Most High delivered them, all right, they became infatuated with the guys of the nations that are around about them. All right, that's what, and what happens is the Most High get mad at us, all right, put us in captivity for about 50 years. We'll pray fast. He'll send a deliverer, and he'll deliver us, and then that generation will be humble, but their children will grow up and be wicked. All right, go ahead.
Quick precept.
Yep.
1. Isaiah chapter 50, verse 1. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom I have put away?
Yep.
Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you?
Yep.
Behold, for your iniquities have ye sold yourselves.
Yeah, you sold yourself. And that's a heavy scripture. Because you had to go back to that movie, Menace to Society. Old Dog was like, if there's a God, why he put us in this position? But the Most High just said, for your iniquities have you sold yourselves.
Yep.
We put ourselves in every captivity there has been. We did that.
Sin.
Because he gave us that contract.
Yep.
Doing that wedding, he gave us that contract. Then he gave us the penalties on that contract. If you don't keep this contract, these are the penalties. Okay.
And for your transgressions is your mother put away.
Yep. So for our transgressions, then we go into captivity. Because that's why it says in Psalm 17:13, arise, O Lord, cast them down, disappoint him, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the Most High uses other nations to chasten his chosen people. You know? That's how you can have a son, right? But you might get somebody else you know that you're not even related to. You're going to put on some boxing gloves and rough up, toughen up your son. You might get somebody else to beat up your son. This is show him a lesson, man. Because the Most High is the king of the earth. He rules the kings and minds of men.
Yeah.
He rules the minds of kings.
Yeah. Hey, like you say, your son want to hang out that gas station with them niggas.
Yep.
You know, you pay some niggas to go pull up on his ass.
Yep.
You know, that's how the Most High
Yeah,
did.
yep,
It's
they
like,
did us.
oh, you a street nigga now.
Uh-huh.
Big. You know?
He might pay a cop. He might know a cop he went to school with. He might pay a cop to go and arrest you.
Yeah.
Sit you in jail for a day or two. Just to show you a lesson. Then when you humble down, he'll deliver you.
We ain't built like that.
He ain't built like that. Show you you ain't made for that, man. Captivity ain't nothing but a whooping from the Most High.
Yep.
But we've done it so many times that the Most High said, fuck it. This time I'm going to take my name from you. So when you go into this captivity, you can't even come as a whole and pray to me. How did he take his name from us? Because when we came into America, we knew his name, all right? But those children that we had got sold to different plantations. And those children were taught what? Christianity. So now that they was turned to so-called Jesus Christ.
It's that falling away.
Yep.
Whole another deity.
A whole other
So
deal.
like you said, Christianity has nothing to do with ending captivity.
Nope.
It's only through your Howard shot.
Yep.
You know, then you start going into with the spirit of your Howard shot, with the spirit of prophecy. Then you can start going into Daniel the 7th chapter.
Yep, that's right,
The
bro.
saints taking the kingdom.
Yep.
Daniel the 2nd chapter, you pulled out. In the days of these kings, you know, then you go into, you know, the end of this and the beginning of sovereignty for Israel.
That's
why they-
beautiful.
Yep. No, you got it, brother.
That's beautiful because you look at Bishop Nathaniel, him and his men of the IUIC, they are completely off. Completely off. And like I was saying, captivity is prolonged by way of plantation Christianity. You know, see, Jesus Christ, that's going to prolong our captivity. And that prayer you did, Nate, that was not sincere at all. That was some bullshit. And anybody take that prayer serious, you out your fucking mind, man. You can tell, basically, let's say if you listen to like a TV evangelist or you listen to some type of Baptist preacher, you know, you just cut them on for a little bit and you know, see how they sound. That's how they sound in that prayer, man. That shit was not real. And then he threw up the Mano Kanoto. And the way he threw it up, it was so apparent. I ain't gonna do it. But the way he did it, this nigga sold out. You know what I'm saying? But they facing the east and they praying to Jesus Christ. And it reminds you of the men in Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, that was worshiping the sun, man.
Woo! And then the women who were making cakes into Tammuz.
Tammuz.
Oh my, hey,
Yeah, because they got women there too.
hey man, that popped in my spirit too, man.
And the Tammuz goes back to their Easter,
Yep.
you know, which they try to replace Easter with the Passover. I mean, place Passover with Easter. Man.
Yeah.
Everybody back in their lot, man. Where they got garments and fringes on, everybody back in their lot. All right?
Cause even oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. Yeah.
Because even Nat Turner, he woke up to the fact that he was an Israelite and went buck wild.
Yep.
So even though we weren't in that time, they're gonna show you when you wake up and realize, wait a minute, the same Bible they used to justify slavery, this same Bible telling us, no, we the chosen people.
Yep.
And vocab gonna take that and twist that and gonna say, when he had his little discussion with Sod Nigga, yeah. When he had a discussion with him, gonna say, well, Nat Turner, when he was reading the Bible, he didn't say that we are the Israelites. He didn't say, you know, so-called blacks are the Jews. He just saw symbolism in the correlation of the oppression of the people here in America and slavery to Egypt. You motherfucker. Hey, man, ain't nobody listening to you, man.
I got a question though. Why do you try so hard? Why so badly do you want to prove that we're not Israelites?
Yeah, exactly.
Why you can't just let us do our own thing?
Leave us alone.
Like Muslims. You don't bother Muslims. Everybody let Muslims do their own thing.
And he'll make fun of them, but then he'll leave them alone. He don't get on them like he get on us. So like him and his, like, you know, his people, they got like little parodies of Muslims, but they don't attack them like this.
So why is it that you're on a crusade and just tear down the doctrine that we're the chosen?
Yep.
What's the problem, man?
Because you know why? They don't want these people to be the chosen.
Yep.
It's his kingdom coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they know they talk all the shit about us niggas. We ain't this, we ain't that. The Latinos ain't nothing. Man, look, talk all that shit, and we all the people, and they know we get power. They gonna be y'all ass, and you scared.
Scared, man.
You scared.
And I'm glad through the spirit of Yahweh Shah, me and the brother Ayash, we did a lesson going into Gad and Reuben, that this nigga, he gonna pull this card, right? He gonna say, well, if Gad are the so-called North American Indians, and then you got Reuben, which basically are also North American Indians, how do you separate them? And he said, well, before they were called Seminoles, they was called, what do you say, Muskegee and Creek. We went into that. We went into that. He said, well, they can't just be Seminole Indians. Well, guess what, Demon? We explained it, man. You know? And see, and that's the one-up, or you know, they just, how the Lord put us up on game through the Spirit, us going into prophecy, man. So you can talk to Sadnetta because he don't know anything, and you can even converse with these other groups. But when it comes to us, one thing about it, the Lord bless us to go into these scriptures, man. So it ain't gonna work. So we can make the separation. And the 12 tribe chart is accurate, you know? It's a lot, bro. That's just all I was gonna say.
No. It's perfect. It's perfect, man. Just slave catchers, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got some, brother?
Come. He got some more.
Okay, come.
All right, this is Judges 2:13, and they forsook the Most High and served Balaam, no, Baal and Ashtoreth. I said Ashtoreth, verse 14.
That goes back to Ishtar, right?
Yeah, it's Ishtar Easter.
The Ishtar spirit, like a year round.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Hey, cause like brothers be getting into, the fact that America's Babylon the Great, you know, our women wearing pants and them basically, you know, under the vibration of Satan, you know, they like you just said, they got masculine energy, you know, but that really all stems back to Ashtaroth or Easter, Ishtar, you know.
Yep. That's straight up masculine energy for a woman to wear denim jeans, you know.
But then realize she's a woman again when she got to sit on the toilet to pee.
Yep. Yep.
Verse 14, and the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of the spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so they could not any longer stand before their enemies.
And that's what you see today. When say scripture say Israel is a people robbed and spoiled. You know? And right now, we were spoiled out of their land, but see, we haven't had sovereignty in centuries. So what is Israel robbed and spoiled of now? Their mindset. You know?
Because the power's in the mind, man. That's how you know we're coming into the kingdom, brothers.
Yep.
The power is in the mind. That's why vocab, like the elder said, that's why he want to take it away, man. He want to push you back in the fucking sucking place. Fuck Christianity, man. Fuck that shit. We was in them goddamn churches and nothing changed, man.
And then everybody was dying in the Christian churches.
Yep.
All right, that single mother, everybody was fucking dying. Because there's no law on the food. There's no law on the lifestyle. So everybody eating bullshit the same shit we was eating on a plantation. And you wonder why all the women are big in the church? Y'all remember Kirk Franklin? Y'all remember those choirs he used to have? Everybody was fat as hell in his choir, man.
Yep.
You know? Because Christianity, it puts no boundaries on you, man. Do what thou wilt. And pray to Caesar.
He was, you know, rumor came out on him, which I believe is true. I mean, why would your son lie about it? He was molesting his son, man.
Well, you know what? One thing I do know on that 94 album, because my mom used to listen to you look sweet as hell. That throwback Kirk looks sweet as hell, man. You know?
It's curves.
Yep.
This is all going back to what you were saying. This is why vocab is doing what you're doing, because it's in your spirit. You know? So when you go to 2nd Ezra 4:1, it says, now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah, power of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do. Yep. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esar Haddon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. But
because you had plants, you know, going back to the Assyrian captivity, which the northern kingdom experienced, you know, them getting brought to the land of Assyria, heathens were placed in that land in their stead, you know, and it was in that land until the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. And we were rebuilding the second temple. But see, you see us rebuilding that temple in the spirit today, man. Rebuilding our minds, we're rebuilding our people, because we're the temple, man.
And it's heavy. It's heavy. Rebuilding our minds, and it's heavy, man.
That's what got to be repaired.
Yep.
That's the real reparations.
Because that's why I said, I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy. That's why I said we have an incurable wound.
We were speaking about that earlier, how our people sick, man.
Yep.
Because it said the children of the captivity. Because it wasn't no complaints when we had that slave-like mentality.
Yep.
But when we, stepped into that rulership mentality, talking about the house of David, now it's a problem. Now we talking about ruling the earth and righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's a problem, man. You see, that's where the problem come in at, is who's the people that's saying they the next rulers, man. All right? Because everyone thrives, all right, all the heathen, all right, thrive off this people being in the captivity mind frame. Verse 3, but Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power.
Another thing too, hey, these are the two witnesses. Also, now you got the southern kingdom and northern kingdom, which, bro, we're in the pinnacle of prophecy right now, because us linking up, this ain't happened in a very long time. So the southern kingdom and northern kingdom, those are the two witnesses. But also, you read in the book of Zechariah, it goes to these two men right here, Zerubbabel and Joshua, which in the spirit that's Peter and John, man. You know, hey, and Zerubbabel is also King David, so this is big. You know, like the brother Ayah just said, us being attached to this power, that's why they upset. Like the brother said, man. You know, you got it, bro.
And it says, ye have nothing to do with us to build a house into our power.
And we saying that too. Because Christianity, where they say all are welcome, come as you are, anybody can be saved. We telling them you don't got nothing to do with us. It's for the people on this sign. You know, you guys are cool.
It says, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord Yahweh Bashim al-Shah, power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia have commanded us.
If you could get that in Isaiah 19 about the altar in Egypt.
Hey, that's another thing. Like, this society hates when heterosexual Israelite men come together, you know, and start building anything. You know, they hate that with a passion, man. You know, we're not in tune with each other. You know, they hate that with a passion. So when you see all these camps on the same accord, teaching the same doctrine, you know, they know it's power and they can feel it, man. You know,
Because if you could conquer by dividing somebody, what happens when they're unified? And the opposite is going to happen. If we stay in power, if Esau stays in power because we're divided, what happens when we come together? He's about to lose his power.
Hey, there's a picture. I want to say a Tazwan, you may have posted it. A brother had posted it. Basically, you got these group of Edomites at a table, and it's like they playing Monopoly on Jake Beck.
Yep.
Like you got all these Israelites basically bowed down, and these Edomites at the table, and it says something in the caption along the lines of, you know, if only we would stand up, because they would lose everything.
Yep.
You know?
Why do you think? I mean, you know, it was a time, but why do you think they burnt Black Wall Street? Why do you think they burnt Rosewood? Because we had our own shit.
Yep.
As soon as you come up with a system that we just keep it within ourselves, Esau hate, because that takes them out of the power equation.
Yeah.
Our captivity mindset, like you said, it keeps them in power. That's not to say we're gonna try to build physically here. We gotta build in the spirit. All right. No, there's no economic solution to our captivity. The solution to our captivity is heal the spirit.
It's the one thing they can't destroy, bro.
Yep.
They got to get to them,
Yep.
you know, because like you said, they was able to burn those different businesses
Yep.
and cities we had, but it's the one thing you can't get.
And you know what? This is heavy that you said that, because Zero, we was listening to this song from Zero, and it was like, you know, in slavery, they took our ancestors, they took our heritage, they took our culture. And now they want you to sell your soul, but it's like the one thing they did take from us was our soul. One thing, and this is really like our soul, our minds, our power. You got it, bro.
I got it quick. This is Isaiah 51 and 22. It said, thus saith thy Lord, all right, the Lord and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
And that was the foundation of us being in America. That cup of trembling, man. Esau was a great terror unto us, man. Esau was possessed, you know.
What does it say in the curses? Lord will give us here a trembling heart.
You know, if you live in any central area where Jake stays, you stay with a trembling heart, man. And somebody you know is always getting killed. And then you gotta watch the news in the morning, and you might know them. You know, somebody you know is always getting killed in these cities, man. It's a trembling heart. They interview those Jakes in Chicago. They'll be interviewing them in their hood, and they looking left and right every 2 seconds. Well, they can't even look at the camera. They're looking left and right, man. You know?
And it's old, but think about King Von, he got knocked off pretty quick.
Yep. Real
You know?
quick. As soon as they get notoriety, they get knocked off.
And said, behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again.
So all that we experience in America, from the arrival, all right, to now, the Jim Crow, all right, the systemic racism, all right, the gang violence, the gun violence, the drugs, all right, fatherless households, whoredom of our women and daughters, all right, that's a cup of trembling, but that was nothing but chastisement from the Most High.
Hey, and this the dreads, because this the last of it.
It's the last of it, man.
You know?
And then they say taking it away, you can see, you know, because the men are out here standing with great boldness.
Yep.
But this couldn't have been done, you know, in the 20s and 30s. You know, all right, we'll be lynched, we'll be hanged, especially down here in Mississippi, man.
Down here in the state of Mississippi.
Because in Matilda, we ain't that happened. That was like the
50s?
50s.
Yeah, I think it was the 50s.
Yeah, and we were watching that documentary. They just went into the house and drug him out. You know.
Nothing was done.
Yeah, how can and his what was his grandfather over there, or his uncle? You know.
You remember that guy that came down?
Yeah, that Jake.
That Jake, he
Yeah.
said that was his cousin, didn't he?
They always said.
He said his
Well,
cousin.
if it was my cousin, I can't break it down, but my family member broke it down when I was like 15, 14. He's a distant cousin of mine.
You know, but the Edomite Brian, I forgot the name. Last name was Brian, but he was let's take reason that.
No, but the other one,
They said they trying to say they ain't. Yeah, well, either way,
Either way,
you know, the point is, those Edomites were able to go into their Jake house, and it was Israelite men in there, and they said, look, we just gonna take them down the street and whoop them. All right? So that shows you that what? The Israelite man had that trembling on. He could, another man come in their house and discipline your grandson. That's that cup of trembling.
Say there should be no might in thy hand.
No might in thy hand.
How many fucking times do you think that happened?
Yep.
The only reason why they really got exposure because his mom demanded that it would be an open casket.
Yep.
How many times do you think that shit? We in Mississippi, man.
And they tried to bury him before she got down here. But she told him to wait till she was coming from Chicago. So she, you know, had to come, because they were trying to hurry up and bury him quick. But she said she could smell him before she got to the casket, man. You know?
They
They
said-
found him in the water. You got it, bro.
You know how many times that happened?
Yep.
You know how like in the Delta, through the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, in the fucking Delta,
There were many Emmett Tills.
there were many Emmett Tills. Natchez, Mississippi, that shit, because when it happened, Jake reaction, they just took an L. Like nobody said nothing, life had to go on. You know how many Jakes went to the hospital for some minor and they never came out the fucking hospital? Hey man, I mean a couple triplet, you know how many times your Edomite master got drunk and he got horny and called for your wife and you couldn't do a fuck shit thing about it? You couldn't do a motherfucking thing about it, man.
Catch it, bro.
They showed it on
Birth of a Nation. He sodomized that man's wife, and you couldn't do shit about it, man. But hey, and then look, this guy Tate Reeves, they just declared April National Confederate Month, April 26th, National Confederate Day. We supposed to forget about slavery? You can't forget how you lost the fucking war at Shalom, brother. Shalom. You can't forget how you lost the fucking war. Yeah, how about some Shah Brakatah? You can't forget how you lost the fucking war. We're supposed to forget about slavery. Look at this fag vocab alone. Want to forget about slavery and be Christians all over again? What do you think it means when it says in the lion stooping down as an old fucking lion? What can make you lose your lioness? Christianity. It makes your ass passive, man. Man, hey man, you don't get hot off hearing this, man. You deserve death, man.
Just gonna go into it. And it says, verse 22, but I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Going back to that picture you said, Jake was bowed down, they were playing chess on Monopoly on his back. You see, like you say, Christianity really bowed Jake down, man, to the slaughter, man.
Because all Jake wants to do, and I've talked to Jake personally, you get Jake at about $50,000, $60,000 a year, you don't give a fuck about slavery.
Yeah.
You give a nigga, a down south nigga, $50,000, $60,000 a year. That man don't give a damn about no slavery. He don't give a damn about no past, man. All right? Because Christianity just teaches you to assimilate into this society. You know?
Hey, cause this lady found in Chicago,
Still there,
they were giving 18 families. They're trying to break down that $400,000. I think only 18 families get like $25,000 a piece, and that's it. And the lady said, she said, that's like slap in the face right there. What the fuck is you give 18 families $25,000 a piece? What the fuck is that? That ain't nothing. Guess what? The money you give to, they probably got to buy a house or put it down on something. Hey, they gonna control that, but you can't do with the money. So $25,000, they no fucking reparation.
Then it's fucking FRN notes.
Yeah.
Fuck your FRNs. Fuck your FRNs. Just like the Monopoly board, it's fake fucking money.
Yep.
But you got it, brother.
This is this is back in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 4, and this is what you see vocab and them doing after they hear the doctrine. After they hear the doctrine that this has nothing to do with them. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Yep.
You know?
They're trying to weaken the hands, all right, by discrediting us. Now it's about discrediting the doctrine, all right?
All the things these people been through, we finally realize who we are as people, and we got this promise to us. And there's something to look forward to. There's something to be happy about. And now you want to put us back in the goddamn box.
Back in that little bitty ass box. Shut up and play ball. What they tell LeBron?
Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble, nigga.
Yeah.
What they tell
That was an Edomite woman. Told that nigga shut up and dribble. And that nigga shut his ass
He
up.
shut up after that.
Kept dribbling. And then remember he said he wasn't gonna play with no fans. Alright? And his ass out there playing, man. This nigga just a high paid slave, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, you know, Jay keep apologizing. You will say something, don't say anything wrong. Keep apologizing. But see, that's why the Lord has his prophets, man. That's why he said, who will rise up from me against the evildoers.
And that's why the prophets that we continue, we're gonna receive honor. Because the Most High reserved 7,000 and one bow down to the image. All right? And we're gonna receive honor because we are set up for nobody. Isaiah 62 said, give them no rest. You know?
Hey, that's why the Lord put the prophets in a situation where they don't give a fuck about their life, man.
Yeah.
All right, the prophets have a spirit, you know, of going all out, man. You know, not caring about what happens to their possessions. All right, not caring about who leave around them, you know. But they had their mind fixated, you know, on doing the will of Yahweh by Shemal Shah, man, and seeing the throne of David established in the earth, man. You see? And we kept that same energy from Apostle Peter in Acts 1:6 with me, 1:8. Without, was it 1:6? I think. Without
1:6,
now
yeah.
restore the kingdom unto Israel. That's the mind frame we in. Yep. Every day we got that mind frame. Without now restore the kingdom to Israel, man.
We're actually living in a time when he's going to do it.
Yep.
I got it real quick for you, bro. All right, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Salakia, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
They said they love not their lives unto the death, because nothing in this life is going to deter us, you know, on this mission that we on, man. There's nothing that's going to make us draw back. All right, just like we was reading, you know, me and the brother was doing it in transit, but when we go into Hebrews, all right, it said Noah, through the fear, he was moved to build the ark. So he really had to forsake whatever he was doing before and build. He had to do that was an everyday thing except the Sabbath.
He didn't take time off.
Nah, he was building, man. He didn't give a damn about what was going on around and what people were saying around him.
His family.
You know, he was building just like Zerubbabel. They was building. They didn't care about the afflictions, you know, from the heathens, man. You know.
In the antediluvian world, that was very civilized. So it wasn't like Noah was sleeping in a teepee, you know, chasing gazelles. No, they had a civilization that was great back then that he forsook. You know.
Reading on in 2 Ezra 4 and 5, and it says, and they hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose.
Yep.
And vocab was just a hired counselor.
He's a high counselor. That's it.
It says, all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even unto the reign of Darius, king of Persia. So it was from one king to another. Like they were persistent in trying to hinder in that building. And it says, verse 6, and in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Mithridates, Tabel, and the rest of the companions until Artaxerxes, king of Persia, and the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. And in verse 11, it says, this is a copy of the letter that they sent unto the king, even unto Artaxerxes the king, thy servants, the men on this side, the river, and at such time. All right, so this is the copy of that letter, what they were writing against our forefathers that was building. It said, be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundations. Hey, and they seeing the foundation, because like I say, all these camps throughout the globe, but see, we joined. You know, what's that? Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 1:10.
It reminds me that what's that slogan from Drumline?
Yep.
One band, one sound.
Yep.
We singing that song of Moses.
Yep.
You know?
And then you see they threw the slander that this rebellious and bad
Yeah.
city. First they got permission to do it, you know, from King Cyrus himself. You see, was the most I played on his mind in order to build the second temple. But then they gonna throw that slander in there, this rebellious and bad. What they gonna do now? Black extremists.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
domestic terrorism. You know,
Having a false flag attacks, blaming it on us.
radicalists. You see?
But they make out they can't be part of it.
Yep.
But you know, because you always had movements that were so-called pro-Jake, right? But you have a bunch of liberal Edomites to be a part of it.
Yep.
But if you go back into the history, a lot of those liberal Edomites were spies.
Yep.
So a lot of those marches and stuff.
Yeah, like Selma.
Yep. A lot of those are spies, man. So as soon as you say, "Nah, you can't be in it," now we're the bad guys.
Yeah, we not part of that shit.
Exactly.
We ain't mad.
That's right. It's a lot of things that we're not a part of that you got going on. You got fraternities and all type of councils that we're not a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, clubs. Well, let your black butt walk in one of them.
Esau want the best of both worlds.
Yeah. When Esau built this structure, he didn't make us a part of the power structure.
Yeah, we been right in what you think of that thing?
The Constitution.
Yeah, we weren't part of it. Yeah.
We the people. That's the elites.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Corinthians 1:10. Now I beseech you, brother, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
Yeah, that's what's happening in the spiritual temple. Because you read 12 again, it says, 2 Ezra 4:12, be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, their protection, and joined the foundation. And we're joined by what? This doctrine. It's a global spiritual house, and we're joined by the same doctrine, man. You know? It says verse 13, be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt damage the revenue of the king. You know, they won't be submissive. You know, because right now, you know, we pay our taxes and our bills. You see, but see, we're not spiritually in submission to this power structure anymore, man. All right, we're not out here celebrating Christmas and birthdays and taking the jab. We're not all into the energy, of the beast anymore, man. You see, we're not paying a spiritual tribute to the beast, man.
Giving our energy, really sacrificing our energy to the beast.
Yep.
You know.
It says, now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor.
And it's crazy how they bring up this report against us, because as if they care so goddamn much about the king.
Yeah.
They didn't want to see us coming to power, man. Same thing today, we're coming into sovereignty, and the elite know this. So they're about to make moves, bro. Like 2021, this may be the year when they do it. You know, and they're gonna pull out all the clips, man. So for brothers, don't be surprised, man. And for you Jakes that fell out the truth, they still got videos of your black ass, man. Yeah. They gonna pull that shit out on you too. You know? Yeah, you got it, bro.
It says, now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king, that search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers, so shalt thou find in the book of records, and know that this city is a rebellious city, and hurtful unto kings and provinces, and that and that they have moved sedition within the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed.
Well, but really, they didn't want us to come back in power because of the time of King David.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, we had everybody under subjection.
We'll say these two prophets tormented them.
Yup.
They dwelt upon the earth.
Yeah, and the elites know who we are, so they don't. They're going to do everything they can to subdue. All right, what we got going on in the spirit, man.
And that's heavy, because see, if the Hebrew Israelites don't exist, then why is this even in the records of the Medes and the Persians? And you can actually look up the history dealing with, you know, who they collectively call Jews, which are Judah, Benjamin, Levi. You can look that up in the Medo-Persian Empire and the Babylonian Empire. So the Israelites, this are real people, man.
The scripture tells you in Isaiah, when his people go back to the homeland, all the nations are going to beat their swords back into plowshares. So if Amalek are the chosen, why are we still at war? Why are so many bombs being dropped on the planet Earth?
And if the Israelites not a real people, why do Amalek want to attach themselves to our heritage,
Yep.
to our culture? Why
Yep.
they want to be us so bad?
Right. The people who run the world want to be Israelites.
They don't want to be Hamites. They don't want to be Ishmaelites.
Nope.
You got it, bro.
And it says, verse 16, Ezra 4:16, we certify the king that if this city be builded again, and the walls thereof set up, by this means thou shalt have no portion on this side the river. Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum the chancellor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace and at such time. The letter which ye sent unto us have been plainly read before me, and I am commanded, and search have been made, and it is found that this city of old time have made insurrection against king, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river,
Hey, that's the spirit. See, we just said that.
and toll and tribute and custom was paid unto them.
Yep.
You know,
So basically, you let them come back in power, y'all gonna be playing tribute, man. Y'all gonna be back service, man. So that's the whole point of it. You know, brothers bring out their closing scriptures to wrap it up. Brother, hey man. And so the elites know, man. Esau knows, because why did he do this with the Islamic movement, man? Or why did he do this with different movements, man? How long he did divide and conquer, but they didn't go to this height, man. This is just the beginning, man. All right, because now he knows that his time is over.
I got a quick one.
All right, go ahead.
All right, this is in Psalms chapter 72, dealing with one of those kings. It's King Solomon. All right, Psalms chapter 72, and in verse 6, he shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and the abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth.
Yep.
He shall have dominion also from sea to sea.
Woo. That's what they said. They said search have been made, and the records show that they had kings that ruled, mighty kings that ruled over countries on this side of the river, man. You see, really going into the Euphrates. You know, when you go into the center of that Persian Empire, you see. But dealing with Solomon, you know, they talked about how all the kings of the earth paid him tribute, man. But see, this is going into Yahushua, which is, this is going to be set up everlasting, you know, and that's what we're building towards now.
And that's why we gotta get out the American mindset and American paradigm. Like you were talking about the Mediterranean food and embracing our heritage to just prepare and rehearse to live in that world, man.
Yep.
All right, because you know you really gotta get the spirit of not being here.
Yep.
Yeah, this more so, like brother said, speaking about Yahushua. Now you can apply it to King Solomon,
Yep.
that's the same spirit,
Yep.
but even furthermore, Yahushua, and even Esau know, because you read in the Bible, it says the reign of the Messiah for this chapter, so they know. I'm gonna read a little bit more for you. All right, it says, he shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth.
Yep.
That's the point, you know.
I got this for you, Elder. Let me break it down. This is Numbers 23 and 18, and this is dealing with really ain't no stopping. Like what they trying to hinder, you know, because you had Balaam trying to curse Israel, you know, Joshua, and they was coming through the land conquering, you know, and it says, and he took up his parable and said, rise up, Balak, and hear, hearken unto me, thy son of Zippor. The Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent.
See, it all stems back to the promise. Going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, what we're a part of, that's why the Lord said the gates of hell should not prevail against this. You can't stop it. And the gates of hell, who's that? That's the leadership, because gates represent leadership. Who's deaf? Edom. So the leadership of Edom, the elite, man. You got it, bro.
And it says, that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall not he do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he have blessed, and I cannot reverse it. Woo!
That's
You're
it.
stopping it, man.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
Yep.
That's
And
yep.
you got it.
No, that's the song. Ain't no stopping us now.
Everybody programmed,
We're
bro.
on the move.
Damn.
And it says, he hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob. Remember,
Yep.
you know, he found blameless.
That's heavy. The accuser of our brethren is cast down, man.
Yep.
It ain't working. You know? Here it is, Jacob's in the worst position ever, man. What's that, Micah, the 4th chapter?
Yep.
Many nations gather against us and say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. They doing that now, man. Like the elder was saying earlier, you look at how Ishmael and Elam and Moab treating our people, you know? These the middleman minority, you know, the way they sell stuff to Jake and getting over on Jake. But people looking at us like, man, like this, y'all the Israelites, this the joy of the whole earth. These niggas, you know? But see, it ain't working. See, because the only way they had the leverage above us was having us to go off. So repentance is a weapon, man. My brother's been saying, but you got it, bro.
Come on. Verse 21, he hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither had he seen perverseness in Israel. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, his power is with him, and the shout of a king is among them.
Yep.
That's it, man. Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, and see, we're covered through Yahweh Shah. That's how we got the victory, man. You know, the fact it's already written, like the elder was saying earlier, it just got to play out, you know?
Verse 23, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob,
Yep.
neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and Israel, what have the Most High wrought?
Because really, we broke the elect. Gonna break from that enchantment.
Yeah, that's right.
Isaiah, Jeremiah 5:5. We were broken that bondage.
Broken that yoke.
Because really, like I said, y'all was going into earlier, it's all in your mind. All right, so the captivity right now is in your mind. So in the enchantment was democracy, Christianity, ultimately Westernization inside of your mind. We broken that those shackles from our mind. Right?
Saying truth shall make you free.
The truth shall make you free.
This is
You know?
the last one.
All right.
Yep. Verse 24. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey and drink the blood of the slain.
And that's the continuation of Genesis. How's the old lion we stoop it down? Who should rise him up?
That's the precept they got.
Yep. Now we're rising up as the young lion, man.
Manifest Destiny got a part 2, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's a perfect link.
That's a perfect link.
Man, bro.
Yep. Times when we had some.
Yep.
You hating didn't work, man.
Right. Let's go on the same thing. It's Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High should take the kingdom.
And that's the lion. That's the lion, man. That's why they pleaded to the king. Don't let them build. Because when King David was in power, there was a lionistic rulership. That's why I said in Revelation 2, you should rule them with a rod of iron.
Rod of iron.
That's like a lion in power. The Most High made the 12 tribes like a lion. That's why King Solomon Temple, he had 6 lions on one side and 6 lions on the other side, man. We're the lions of the earth. Hey, we even look like lions. Check out that broad nose and the beard and the afro. That's your fucking man.
Lions require a lot of territory.
That's right. Yep. That's right. And lions have a sense of entitlement. They feel like it's not that I want this so I should have it. No, it's mine anyway.
Belongs to us.
The earth belongs. We're gonna have that mentality like all y'all belong to us anyway.
Yeah, we just taking what's ours.
Yeah, we just thinking it was ours, man.
Hey, it was they was doing like a documentary on lions on one of those animal channels, and they were like, what make the lion the king of the jungle? It was like, because he's not the fastest, and he's not even the strongest. It was like, well, the lion has a mentality that everything else is a prey to. Yeah. It's just the mentality. Yeah, he said the lion just got the mentality that everything else is prey.
You can't tell me that's not Israel.
You know?
No.
and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Yep. So, hey, with that, because you got to understand, the Most High didn't create equality in the animal world. Why would he do it in the people world? You know, he didn't make all the animals equal. No, there's a hierarchy.
Yep.
So why would he not do that in the people world, man?
Yeah, because human beings, you know, we're a high level species. You know?
Yep.
Because hey, when that lion roar, every animal pay attention. Like how close is he? You know, where he at? You know, when they hear that lion roar, that's what they seeing now. This lion roaring, and everybody is stopping and paying attention. Like, hold up, what? You know, you don't hear a lion roar. You keep drinking water. If you a gazelle, you know. It sounds close, that man.
Everybody stop.
So they hearing it now.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
That goes back to Wisdom of Solomon 5. It said the righteous stand in great boldness, you know. But then, the reaction is like a lion roar.
Yep.
But yeah, y'all had any closing statements? And with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honor to our apostles, a great millstone, we well. Peace and blessing, house of everything elect. A bomb!
Shalom.
Shalom! Shalom!